Hi, Sapphire.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like there was some disturbance or disagreement in the lunchroom between you and Yane.
Mm-hmm.
Could you fill me in on your perspective?
Well, I went into the science room to see what she was doing for the science fair.
Yes.
Because I heard her project was really good, and some of the other kids that worked in that room with her said that hers was really good. So I looked at it, and then another kid came in and startled me, and then I accidentally broke it. And I tried to fix it. And it
didn't go so well. No. So your intention was to look at it. Somehow your hands were involved when you were looking at it, and so when you got startled, it got broken.
Well, it was on like a slidey cart.
Mm-hmm.
That way it could like slide into the presentation show, and had my hand on the cart.
Okay.
And then the other kid startled because I was reading the piece of paper, because it has the piece of paper and it's like so and so's, this is what they did, and then like a little brief. So I was reading that, and then another kid startled me and jumped up. Yeah.
So one of my goals today is to help you and Yane repair this rupture. I also am going to speak with her and get her perspective. And the reason I'm doing that isn't because one is right and one is wrong, but because the more perspectives we get, the more clearly we can see. So oftentimes when people have different perspectives, they think that's a problem. It's actually not a problem. It's like having different camera angles. One's not right and one's not wrong. It just lets you see different things. So this has been your experience. I'm going to hear what her experience is, and then we're going to come together and look at what we can do about the situation. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to have you leave, and we can invite in Miss Yane. Yane, thanks for coming in. I know you're having some big feelings right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm upset.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to know your perspective.
Yeah, so I'm finishing up my wonderful science project. I'm so excited about it, and I leave it in the art room because that's where we're supposed to leave all of our projects, so it's easy transferable to the fair.
Mm-hmm.
I come back in and I see all my planets on the floor, on the ground, and I see Sapphire standing there. And the art teacher always lets the younger students come in and look at our work, and they don't care. They just completely do anything, put their fingers on it, put their nasty little finger marks on it. And I've worked all day, and the only thing I get is, sorry, no one's going to help me finish my project, fix my project, and it's so frustrating because there should be better security around my project.
So you put all this work into this project, and you would like it protected.
Yes.
And when you come in and see that it hasn't been protected, you have some big feelings.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for sharing those with me. And you did a wonderful job sharing them very calmly, because I can tell these are big, big feelings that you're having.
Yes.
I'm wondering if we can look at how we can repair this rupture between you and Sapphire, and get some ideas about how we can keep things safer,
Right.
as well. So here's something that kind of helps me organize my thoughts, if you don't mind. It's called this stress response cascade.
Okay.
So when our brain gets stressed, it wants certain things to happen. One, it wants to go towards safe people. So I appreciate you coming to my office instead of taking things into your own hands with Sapphire.
Yes.
That took a lot of self-control. Yes. So I appreciate that. So you've already done what we would call a safe flock.
Okay.
All right? Then sometimes, if we can't find safe people, we want to run away.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm wondering, when you walked in and you saw Sapphire there, did she stay or did she run away?
No, she completely left. after she said she's sorry, she just ran out of the room.
Okay, so the stress got the best of her and she ran off.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. And then what happened in the lunchroom?
So in the lunchroom, when I confronted her, she was trying to act all clueless and said it was an accident. But I don't think it was an accident. I think she did it on purpose. You know, they're letting them in there and they're doing what they want. They're just knocking stuff down. Just like I said, there's no protection. So I was angry, and she didn't really seem like she cared, or at least at the moment, I didn't see that she cared. So, you know.
So in the lunchroom, you confront her.
Yeah.
And you're having big feelings. Now she's having big feelings. So her perspective is that was an accident.
Yes.
And your perspective is that it feels like it was on purpose.
Yes.
And the whole problem is made worse by the fact that it feels like these projects, if you have to leave them in the art room, you want them protected.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So you're over here on an unsafe fight when you're arguing with her in the lunchroom. But then when you come to my office and you say, here's what I think needs to happen. I think we need better protection.
Yes.
And you're saying it in a respectful, although frustrated manner, that's a safe fight. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that we can come together and get some rupture, some repair, and some solutions so we can all get to a safe flock.
Okay.
Okay? There's a couple other things on this fear cascade. I'm not sure if it applies to this situation, but just so I can teach you the whole thing.
Okay.
So these three are solution focused: flock, flee, fight. They're for survival. I want to solve this problem. I want to survive.
Okay.
Okay? That's what we're working on. When someone thinks there's nothing I can do, when you think there's nothing I can do, what do?
I go crazy.
Yes, you kind of give up and go
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything shuts down, and I'm just, whatever feeling I'm feeling at that moment, it's intensified times 10, which is anger most of the time.
Yes. So what you're not doing is shutting down. Even though she's seeing it one way, you're seeing it another. You're not going into this freeze, submit, response.
Right.
You actually came and said, I need some help with this. You also tried to confront her, and that didn't go as well as you would have liked. No. So, as I said before, what I'd really like to do is see if I can get all of us to this safe flock so we can repair the rupture between you and Sapphire, because I do know that Sapphire, as do many kids in her grade, look up to you. So I appreciate you coming and being a model again by showing them, yes, I can get angry. Yes, I can try to take care of it myself. And when that doesn't work, it's okay to find a safe adult.
Yes.
Yes, not all environments have safe adults, but when one does, I appreciate you demonstrating that, yes, you can come find a safe adult. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm hoping to teach you some of these skills so as you become an adult, you can use them with others, and you can use them before you're an adult. So I know when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of safe adults in my life, but I could often find older youth that were safe, or sometimes grandparents or somebody else's grandparents or a neighbor that was safe. So my guess is you're also pretty good at finding safe people who can help you, and I would like to help you become a safe
Yeah.
a safe person for other people. Okay?
All right.
All right. Let's give this a shot.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring in Sapphire, and we're going to talk about what happened. So I'm going to teach you another skill.
Okay.
Okay? This one's called reflect, honor, and connect. It helps people feel heard. It doesn't mean you're agreeing with them. But when people feel heard, they calm down. So this time I'm going to have you switch roles, and you're going to be Sapphire, and I'm going to be you, and I'm going to use a reflect, honor, connect.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Let's practice. Okay. So, Sapphire, what's the deal? I worked so hard on that project.
I was just looking at it. And it bumped and it fell. I didn't do it on purpose. I promise.
So you're telling me you were looking at it with your hands, obviously. Yes.
Yeah.
And then something happened and it fell.
Yeah, well, another student came in and they scared me. I was looking at it and I touched it a little bit, but once the student came in and I was scared and I bumped it and it fell. It wasn't intentional.
So what you're telling me is you're looking at it with your hands, which a part of you knows you're not supposed to be doing. And then another student comes in and that startles you because you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. And then it falls and breaks. I appreciate you telling me the honest truth that you were looking at it with your hands and not just your eyes. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm wondering if we can go see Miss Potter or Miss Vicario or someone that's available to help us figure this out, because I'm pretty upset right now and I don't want to do something that either one of us is going to regret.
Yes, I would appreciate that. I only was looking at it because I admired it, and I admire your work, and I didn't mean to break it. Let's go.
Let's go, because it'll help me to hear that with a safe adult around that you didn't do it on purpose. I do appreciate you being honest, though, and saying that you were touching it when you shouldn't be. I appreciate that a lot, and I think we can figure this out together.
Good. Thanks, Yane.
Mm-hmm. Did you see how different that felt for her?
Yes. It
Yes.
didn't put her on the spot and it didn't make her feel like a target.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you thanked me and then you let me know that we're going to talk to someone else.
Yes. And you still weren't agreeing with her.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still have your reservations as to whether or not it was done on purpose or not.
Mm-hmm.
But you can wait till we have a safe adult present if we want to tease that piece out.
Right.
Yes, you're kind of being the safe adult for her and showing her there is a way to disagree without hurting each other emotionally or socially or physically or morally. There's a way to do this.
Okay.
So, do you mind practicing now? And you get to be you,
Okay.
and I get to be Sapphire before the real Sapphire comes in.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Dang it, Sapphire, you broke my stuff.
I know, but I didn't mean to. It was just so cool. I just was like, oh my gosh, how are those planets spinning and stuff? And so I was spinning the planets, and then someone came in and I jumped, and then all the planets landed on the floor, and then you were right behind the person that scared me.
Wow, so you're telling me that you were not only just looking at it, you were touching the planets, and then someone came in, started you, and bumped it on the floor.
Yeah.
And that's what happened?
Yes. I didn't mean to break it, really. I just wanted to see, how did you get those planets to spin on that wire? That was really cool. I guess it's not so cool anymore because I broke it, but it was really cool.
Yes, I worked really hard on that, but I appreciate you telling me the truth, and thank you for letting me know that it wasn't done intentionally. At least I hope. I'll believe you for now, but I think we should escalate this to Miss Porter's office because I'm frustrated about my project and the science fair is tomorrow. So we have to find something to do about this. And you have to be shown that it's not okay to touch and look with your hands. Maybe one day we can build a project together. How about that?
Okay. Miss Potter's not here today.
Miss Potter's not here. Okay, maybe we can go see Miss Mary then. She's great at these kind of things.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and thank you too for coming to the conclusion to come see me. I appreciate that. I'm wondering if you don't mind walking through again for both of us what happened in your experience.
Well, my grade did an art project, and so I was going to go get my art project to bring it to the other room because it was paint, so we kept it in there. And then once it dried, we bring it to the other room. So I was getting my project, and I was reading all of the other projects, the little papers on them. And then so I went around and I read all of the papers. But when I got to the last paper, then somebody was like, hey. And so then I bumped it on accident while turning around, and then it fell on the floor. And then you came in and then you looked very mad. And so I said sorry and I ran away because she looked mad.
Okay.
I was pretty upset about that.
What did it look like from your experience?
From my experience, I walked in and I seen my project on the floor and I seen Sapphire there. And when I confronted her about it, you know, she just said sorry and ran out. So I kind of thought that was a lie, that it was an accident, because why didn't you stay and kind of explain the whole thing to me? But now, you know, seeing that she seen that I was angry, I could kind of see why she probably ran away, because I was very angry.
And if I remember correctly, you really like Nyane's work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's very pretty.
It is, isn't it? And it's really strong science. She's really good at the science and she makes it look touchable. So I'm wondering if sometimes we get tempted to touch it because it looks so alive. Yeah. Okay. I would like to see if we can repair this rupture and learn a few things along the way. So one of the things I want to explore with the two of you is something that's called the fear cascade, because we all have the same one that lives inside of us. And you all gave me some wonderful examples of what happens when we're afraid. And sometimes our intention is one thing, but when our fear cascade kicks in, the impact we have is very different. So this is a picture of the fear cascade right here. And it looks like you showed up curious about the projects. And so you're checking out everyone's project. We call that flocking. You're going toward other people or other people's work. That's okay. You can do it safely or unsafely. So while you're looking at it, it's safe. When it looks really good and you want to touch it, that's a little bit of unsafe. Because, unbeknownst to you, someone could come in and startle you, right? And when we get startled, we get a whole bunch of energy all at once that we're not expecting. And it makes us jump. And if we're too close to something or touching something, it can break. That is sometimes called a flee or fight response because it gives you energy. That's those energy responses, right? And then you come in. And how are you feeling?
Man,
Yes, you're angry. However, what did you do?
I went to go seek a safe adult to help us with this
Yes.
situation.
So she asked you what was going on, right? So it's a safe flock, and you answered her from your experience, another safe flock. So I just want to highlight how you two ladies, even though you were agitated, what you did with your agitation was safe. You spoke to each other, got a little heated, sometimes it does, and then you decided to call in a third party. Yes, that's another safe flock. So you're doing a lot of safe things in a very frustrating situation. So there's two more things on here that I don't think apply to this situation, but I want to check them out. One is these first three: flock, which is connection; fleeing and fighting, which is action, because I believe you ran from the room very quickly. Yeah, that's what we're designed to do. So, and then you confronted her, so you came back. However, you decided this isn't going the way I'd like it to go, both of you, and you agreed to come get a safe adult, and you agreed to come talk with the safe adult as well. So I just want to really highlight this situation is frustrating for both of you, and you're all doing a lot of safe ways of handling it. So you're doing much better than many adults I work with. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What you seem to be avoiding is what happens when our brain gives up hope. When you think a situation is unfair and it can't be fixed, what do? And there's no wrong answers here.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Yep. Shut down.
You shut down.
Or go with the flow.
Yes, that's the freeze and submit. It's not always safe. Sometimes we have to do it to keep ourselves safe. Yes. However, you didn't do that today. You both had the courage to speak your mind, even though you disagreed, and then get a safe adult. So I really want to highlight that. Because there's not always enough safe adults to go around.
Yeah.
So one of my goals is to make the kids in my school learn how to become safe people for one another, so that when you grow up, you are also safe adults.
Yes.
And you are handling this just like safe adults. So with that in mind, let's look at how we can repair this rupture. So your intent was to see this really cool science project.
Yeah.
Yes, because you do make really cool stuff. And it sounds like it was very tempting to touch it. What did you say was one of the challenges that might help with this situation? Do you remember you told me?
Yes, I feel like there should be more protection around my project. Maybe a little rope, but don't get 2 feet in within distance, or something similar to the art
That's a
museum.
great idea. So would that help if there was a little rope like at the art museum?
Well, yeah, but it would make the reading a little harder.
It would make the reading a little harder. Maybe we could make the print a little bigger on the reading?
Or maybe put it in a different place.
Yes.
Like on a different table.
On a different
Okay.
table?
Because I was just reading the reading. I didn't touch the project. And then I heard a voice, and so I turned around, and then I bumped it.
So to read the reading, you had to get very close.
Because the reading's very tiny.
Ah, okay. So we need to make the print bigger and closer to the person, and the project a little further away from the person would be another way to solve this problem.
Yeah.
I like that idea too. Yes. Yes, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also wondering, that door has a lock on it. So here's why I'm asking this so cautiously, because I do think it's important that we learn from one another. So you are going in there and learning from the other projects. You often have told me you go in there and learn from people's art, because you're a science person and you're an art person, so you all can learn from one another.
Right.
Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. It all goes together. That's what gives us the steam to create things. So you're doing some of that learning from one another. I don't want the learning to stop. However, I do want the projects to be safe. So I'm wondering if you can think with me when might be a good time to lock the door, when might be a good time to have the door unlocked.
Well, all of the projects are stored in there.
Yes, the art and the science.
Yeah. So if the science people have to get theirs at a different time and the art people have to get theirs at a different time, then after the science people get it, that's when the art people get it. That way the fragile stuff gets taken out before.
Okay. So you're
Because-
thinking you could have them in there at separate times?
Well, they can be stored together, and then the doors are kept locked. And then the more fragile stuff, like all of the science fair projects, are taken out before the doors get unlocked for the actual, people.
Got it, because the science fair ones need to make it through the weekend to the science fair. And the art projects, we've already had our art show and they're in there waiting for people to come and get them.
Or a special badge.
A special badge.
That way
So we know who.
only people from the science fair can get theirs.
I like that. I was thinking more so maybe have an attendant who's able to see, and watch over during specific times, which I think would be free times or lunchtime. And also, I would feel if the project haven't been on display yet, it shouldn't even be, available for anyone, in my opinion, to be looking at it until after it's presented. And then maybe it can be for further presentation in the art / science room.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So you're thinking We don't let anyone in till the projects have already gone through. You know, just like the art ones went there before the art show, they went to the art show, then they went back there for people to come and get them. So if we were to do that same pattern, we would keep the door locked until after the science fair. And then, here's what I don't want to lose, the ability to learn from one another.
Right.
So I like your idea of an attendant. So I'm wondering, what would it look like if your art teacher took your class through to see the art and science projects, and your science teacher took your class through to see the art and science projects?
Yeah.
So then there's an attendant, but you can also see them. I also agree we need to make the print larger and put it up higher. Yes. So we just did another thing called predict practice. So we predicted when this might be a problem again. You helped me practice some ways we can make it work better. Now we're going to have a plan B. Let's say it's not you and it's not you. But let's say two other kids are looking at each other's stuff and something gets broken. How would you help those youth? What would be the plan B for if it happens again, even though we've got a monitor? You know, sometimes when I bring little kids don't understand. You're not a little kid, but I'm saying little kids, I'm pointing at you because I know you have lots of siblings, so you know. Little kids look at things with their hands because they make sense of their world by acting on it, not thinking about it. That takes age. You don't get your claws around that very well till you're like over age 9. So littler ones want to touch everything. So how could we help? What could be our backup plan to help other kids in a similar situation as the two of you?
I mean, if we have the measures in place, they should be able to see. You know, and it wouldn't be he say, she say, because the attendant is able to monitor,
Okay.
you know, what's being broken and what's not. And maybe we can put up some rough housing or just some more signage. But if the projects are back, I feel like it'd be a little bit more rare for it to happen because we have
Absolutely
stuff in
right.
place.
So the planning we've done will make it more rare. And yet sometimes mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Some kind of, what's our safety net?
Maybe a gate.
A gate
Yeah.
could help. Okay. Yep. That's where you were talking about the string. So those two things could help.
And then just communication, just practicing
Communi-
this cascade, you know, just practicing
Yes.
being able to repair what we may have ruptured. And like I mentioned, maybe we can work on fixing it together. Like how I mentioned how we could build a project together. Maybe if it's broken, maybe they can work on it together to fix it again.
Oh, I love that solution.
Yeah.
Because you're artistic and you're scientific, and when we put that together, woo! That could take the whole science fair by storm and the whole art fair by storm.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great example of STEAM, which is what I'm going for.
Yeah. And when they're there, they can monitor their own projects. So maybe no one should see it until they're there. That way they can be responsible
idea.
for it
Great.
themselves. And so the fault lies on them.
So I'm going to invite the two of you to recreate this project together,
Okay.
if you're up for it. And while you're doing that, I'm also going to invite you to think about what would it look like to have a student peace and reconciliation council. Yes, so it's a council where students with an adult monitor, because all of our groups need an adult monitor, work together to help other students solve disagreements.
Yes.
You
I
could
love
use
that.
some of these skills that you're already good at. We could use some other ones that we could teach you. I can just see the two of you being leaders in this school peace and reconciliation council. Call it whatever you want to call it. Just reminded me of the South African work on peace and reconciliation.
Yeah.
And I think that would be beautiful for our school to have something similar.
Yeah, I agree, because this can apply to many other situations as well.
Yes, many situations. And I want to take your strengths at staying on the safe side or getting yourself to the safe side when you notice, woo, this fight's not going the way I want it to go. This discussion starting to feel a little unsafe. We can get it to the safe side. Yes.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Would that work for you?
Mm-hmm.
And the final thought I had for a sign, because one of you mentioned a sign, is we have this thing called a safety script. I'm wondering, when I was a teacher, I had this sign in my classroom. This is our safe place. And I had it framed. And I'm wondering if for the science project, we could put up, we want this to be our safe place. It's important that no one look at things with their hands, only with their eyes, because we want these projects to be safe.
Yes.
Because this is our safe school.
I like that. It reminds them. It's a constant reminder when they walk in.
Because when you get excited, you can flip to that energized part of the fear cascade, and it could become unsafe very quickly because your hands want to touch everything.
Yeah.
Because that's just how we're designed. Yeah, we're not trying to irritate each other. It's just how we're designed. When we get excited, our whole body wants to get involved. So that might be a reminder.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. I can't wait to see what project you come up with. And if you need time or space setting that up, let me know and we can pull in some teachers who can help us find some time and space for you to repair this rupture and repair the project.
Sounds
And
good.
maybe get us started on a whole new way of solving problems at our school.
Yes, I like that idea. You down for it, Sapphire? Let's get it done.
Can you shake on it?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Yes.